Hey guys, Kay here from Quick Gaming. I figured it's time for a new series. We haven't done a series in a while. Blondie and I's schedules are a little wonky right now, so I'm just going to start a solo playthrough of Kerbal Space Program because it's one of my favorite games of all time. Got 500 hours in it. I usually play more or less vanilla. I'm going to be using Kerbal Engineer. I'm going to start a new game on career mode. And since Blondie isn't here, let's see. We'll start a new game. We'll call it Dixon Orbit in honor of Blondie, who sadly is working right now because it's the middle of the night on a Friday night. He's working bar. This will go out, I guess, Saturday, so he'll be there too. Let's do career mode. Let's do normal. Let's choose a flag. That's a nice flag. Let's accept. Difficulty options, pretty much normal. Except missing crews will not respawn, and give us a little more starting funds, since I am kind of I can't get to 50, so that's close enough. I'm a little drunk, so we're gonna do this not quite hard mode, challenged mode. Alright, let's accept and start. Alright, so the first part of this, what we're gonna need to do, all of the basic contracts that we're going to have are there already. So launch the first vessel, escape the atmosphere. I'll accept launch first. We'll get all the speed ones, everything else as we go. I'll might as well take this too just for the cash advance. So I'm going to go over to the VAB, Vehicle Assembly Building. We're going to build our first rocket. Something nice, simple with the starter parts we got. Got the command pod. We got a parachute, and we got a crappy little booster. Alright, and since I'm K, everything in Kerbal Space Program tends to begin with a K. Let's call it the K1, save it for the hell of it, and launch it. Now what I should have done is adjust the staging. I'm going to have to do that on the launch pad. But in the future I'll try to remember that and of course forget, so got that set. Don't really have any stability assist. Don't have anything because Jeb's level 0. So we're just gonna hit space and launch. I probably should have. Oh, we got some speed records. A bunch of speed records. Now we just slowly coast until we run out of speed. Flying without my hands. Have time to sip a beer, knowing full well that Jeb is most likely going to survive. And since I don't plan on editing the series at all, since I've rebuilt all the computer things and haven't reinstalled most of what I need, this is all just, record, upload. And I've just realized the capsule is now heavier than the booster and it's going to pull it down. So, got to use the stabilization. Just going to go through the contracts, just sort of blast through them. So we got a bunch of money now. Let's see. Yeah, I got more or less everything except escape the atmosphere and set a distance record. But we just went straight up, that's fine. We're going to land pretty much... Whoops. Right where we launched from. Have our slow little descent, eating up tiny amounts of battery power. Gonna deploy the chute a little late, just for the sake of speeding up the video. Deploy. Ah. Nice. It deployed in time. I'm gonna speed this up. I probably should have done a crew report, but I can do it now. Still get just a little bit of science. An EVA. It says flying over the shores, but that's been a bug forever, so get back in, recover, and see what we got. Hey, 13 science. Blast through those. Let's see, we're going to unlock, those are 5 each, so Yes and yes. Now, we can build something to go a little higher. Actually, I'm going to try to escape the atmosphere this time. It's going to be a little rough. It's going to be a clunky as hell journey. I think we can do it. We're only 5 minutes into this playthrough, so figure why not. As long as we don't blow up, we'll be okay. But also, that's a big if, since they reworked the aerodynamics, and I haven't played much since then. So, get some liquid fuel tanks. I don't need that one. The engine should be. See, I do have a Kerbal engineer installed, so I get the readouts of things. Like your delta V, your thruster weight ratio. That's going to be pretty rough. I'm not going to throttle it all the way because I'm going to end up blowing myself apart. Let's see. Could do one of those. Actually, I should probably, to keep the cost down, do an all-solid rocket ship. It's going to be pretty messy and pretty hard to control, but I think even drunk me should be able to pilot it pretty well. And just to make it a little more controllable, I'm going to drop this until my thruster weight ratio is around 1.2, and then do the same with this guy. I want to have my thruster weight ratio pretty manageable. So, yeah, that seems to be okay. It's not going to be enough to get to orbit, definitely enough to get to space, but I don't want to have to do a full re-entry. I don't want to get to orbit this time because I do not have heat shields. I don't think. Do I? I do not. I just have fins. And I do want to put fins on down to the bottom just so I don't completely spin out of control. Alright, it's a pretty terrifying ship to try to launch. I'm going to put 2 of these on, just so I have one for like lower atmosphere, one for upper atmosphere. I'll do the space one once I finally get to orbit. And I'm not going to need to transmit anything because I don't have like solar panels or battery power. Alright, I'm just checking my staging now, which is behind my head. So you got that. Those are probably going to blow up, but they're going to blow up behind us, so that's fine. That's fine. Alright, let's hope that I don't blow up. So, this is our second ship, so it's the K2. I said it's a K2. 2. Oh, there we go. Number pad broke for a second. Alright, let's launch another terrifying ship. Alright, not going to worry about throttling since I can't throttle these. I'm just going to launch. I'm going to go straight up for a little bit. I'm going to tilt it a little to the right with what little control I have over this. Because I don't want to come back straight down because I don't have a heat shield. And it'll probably do a bit of damage. Like, I'm already getting like a bit of heating on the fins. So I'm going to let that go down a bit. I'm going to wait till I'm a little higher up. Like, I don't want to get fully into space. I'm going to tilt over. It's draining battery, but I'm going to hit the other one now. Alright. If I can get about 5 kilometers downrange from this, I'll fulfill the next contract. Alright, I already got the altitude. Alright. Thrust is limited just enough where I'm not like pushing too hard. I'm not getting like too much heating. I'm going to observe the goo. Hey, flying. That means I'm lower atmosphere. Once my gauge gets up to the upper atmosphere, I'll observe the other one. Just going to angle this a little more. So I'd rather be going horizontally than vertically by now. Yeah, this isn't too bad. I'm not overheating. I'm not burning up. I am now, I believe, in the upper atmosphere. Yes, I am. And then I'll do a crew report. Got the signs from the upper atmosphere. And now I wait for this to burn out. How far am I going to go? Ooh, I'm getting out there. Pretty far. About half a kilometer a second. I think the last distance record, you can't see it, but underneath my head it said 17 kilometers downrange as like a new distance record. I think 26 and then 100 are the next two. I'm definitely going to hit the 26. The debris, yeah, there we go, 28 kilometers. Because the debris there is like pretty much right over everything. Okay, I'm getting some heating now. I hope this burns out soon before we hit a kilometer a second. Alright, 39 kilometers as a distance. Once the heating stops, I'll feel safe enough to let go of, I'm going to turn off the stabilization, just because that's doing nothing but draining battery. So once I stop with the heating, I'm going to drop this stage, land back in the ocean, and hopefully I'll be fine. In the meantime, though, just going to sit back and relax. Oh, and I'm going to press the button for, you know, speeding this up so we don't take forever. Alright, so now we're still going about 2.5 times the speed of sound. I'm going to angle this in an odd way just so that when I decouple this, it'll just fly off. There. Now I've stabilized. I've hit 100 kilometers away from the launch site. I'm still going a little faster than I want to. But I'm in the denser part of the atmosphere now, so I'll be fine. That thing we decoupled 3 seconds ago is now 3 kilometers away. Let's check to see if it's safe yet. It's safe to deploy. But I'm going to wait until we're about 1.5 kilometers just because I don't want to be sitting here waiting forever to land. Also, that was an odd glitch. Yeah, I'm playing more or less vanilla. I only have one mod installed because I don't feel like doing the calculations for the Delta V by hand. Deploying the chute. Might have done too late. Hope I didn't. No, I didn't. Alright, we're fine. Alright, gonna speed through this. Got the moon. It's MU with an umlaut over at N. Just sitting up there looking like the Death Star being all terrifying. No, it's not too hard to get there. It's a little hard. It's harder to come back than it is to get there. Alright, so we've made it. Let's recover the vessel. We'll get some of the money back for the pod. And since we only use solid rockets, they're way cheaper. We'll be fine. Ooh, we got 24.4 science. I feel like if we can unlock survivability with the heat shield, I'd be confident enough to bring this to space. So, alright, that's stability. There we go, heat shield, that's what we want. It's 15 science, got another 9 point, we have 9.4, but it's 18 and 20 for the next two. So I'm going to close out of here. I am going to build a new ship, one that will actually survive re-entry, I hope. Now, let's see. Utility, I'm going to put a cargo bay on this. Because I know from many hours of playing that having the mystery goo containers on the outside of the ship tends to, they tend to explode when coming back from orbit, especially on something this small. They'll overheat, and if we don't have a chance to get out and recover, or at least take the science data out of it, it's just gonna hurt. Alright, we got those two in there. Actually, do I want to do 3? Yeah, I'll do 3. So we'll have one for the launch pad, one for space, and one for where we land. Alright, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to put another chute on here just because I don't want too rough of a landing. And I'm going to put it right there. And for science, I'm going to take this this part right here is from the Kerbal Engineer Redux mod. It basically gives you an entire readout of all of your vehicle specifications. Like it's a lifesaver. So I'm just gonna put that right there. It's massless, so it doesn't really matter. It just costs 500 funds, and it shows you that, like, hey, you're gonna die here, or you're not gonna die. It shows how much fuel you have left, how much you can change your delta V, which is your change of velocity. All right, so we got that down. I kind of wish I had a little bit more mass in here, otherwise it is gonna be a little off center. Well, not off center. It's gonna be a little top heavy. Like, my center of mass right now is about here. It might affect stability when it comes to, like, going back to the atmosphere, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta go with it. Oh, I should put a decoupler on. And for this one, I actually am going to use a bit of a liquid fuel, because I do want this thing to go to space. I do want to be able to throttle it. I'm going to try to get into orbit. Alright, so that's not too bad. 1,400 meters a second. Probably do with a few more. It's about 2,000 meters a second. Alright, I gotta see what am I limited to with height. So I'm about half of the height that I'm allowed right now. So actually, can I go back? Yeah, I want to save and continue. Let's see if I can upgrade any of these buildings with the funds that I have. It's max parts supported. Parts I'm not worried about. It's the height that I'm worried about. So another 18 meters and another 120 tons will help a lot. So I'm gonna go back. Alright, I'm gonna throw the engine on there. I don't have thrust vectoring, which kind of sucks, which means I'm completely reliant on the command pod to try to steer me. Alright, and then that is going to require reworking how I'm going to get this up. So I need a stack decoupler. Alright, good. My thruster weight ratio is still over 2. So I only really need it around 1.2, so I'm going to add a few more fuel tanks. Oh, that's still good. What's my height? Yeah, I could definitely go with a bit more. Like, we're gonna lose all of this money-wise, but what we're gonna get science-wise is going to help immensely. Like, we'll unlock bigger, better fuel tanks later. Alright, so 3,100 meters per second, we're definitely gonna get to space. Probably not to orbit, but that can all be changed by simply throwing on another one of these solid rocket boosters and lifting that up a little bit, and also adjusting the staging. Let's see. Yeah, that's 3,400 meters per second. We might be able to get this to orbit. We probably won't because I've been drinking, but we'll see that one next time. Like, sub if you want to see more. So see you guys in space. Bye.